How are you doing today? I haven't been on here much lately. I've been researching a bunch of finance stuff, and when I get into that, I just go all in and really investigate a subject as much as possible. So that's what I've been doing with my time, and it's been a lot of time, so yeah, that's where I've been. So I just want to get on here and talk about how when you retire, you really need to kind of find a focus. I mean, this is a time where you can try a bunch of different things, which is great. But also, if you get into too much stuff all at once and everything, you might become overwhelmed, which I've done to myself. And today I was sort of trying to make myself kind of pick some things to focus more on. And there's so much stuff. That's what I love about YouTube. There's so much stuff online to help you out. This one video I was watching was saying, write down like 25 things that you're wanting to do and then pick 5 of those and try to focus on those. And what I found is a lot of them overlap. And I really do want to continue this channel. And obviously I'm walking right now, which is probably noisy. I'm sorry about that, but I'm trying to do things that overlap. So I'm not just overwhelmed because I've got 25 things I want to do. So nothing gets done, but yeah. So I'm trying to overlap some things here. And like, for example, I had getting healthy, getting fit, possibly losing weight, whatever. And I want to do this YouTube channel. So instead of just picking one of those, I kind of can combine all of them together and try to get my YouTube time in while I'm actually trying to get some walking in or something like that. So hopefully I can make that work. We'll see. And if it's too loud, obviously, then this isn't going to work at all. But I definitely need to start walking and getting active, because this winter has really done me in. I've had this weird sinus infection thing going on for 5 months, and I've just felt like crap. So it's really easy for me to sit around and watch videos instead of being productive, which I hate because I have so much to do. I have a lot on my plate of things I got myself into. One being this house has so many issues that I need to deal with, and it's easier, well, especially being sick, just not to deal with them. So that's what I've been doing, unfortunately. And so hopefully, I'm always about changing things up, not going at some constant, things have to be a certain way. Like, I'm just not wired like that, thankfully, because I'd never get anywhere if I was so regimented to where I couldn't think outside my little box. So I'm constantly trying to make things better, my process is better. How can I make things work better? And I think you have to be flexible when you retire, because right now the world is your oyster. You can do anything. You literally can jump in your car, if you have pets, have someone watch them, go put them in the kennel. You could take off and do anything. Like, you literally can do anything. You have so much freedom, and we just don't take advantage of it. We think we can't do things, or that's out of our realm, but no, it's not. You can literally do anything. It's the United States of America. We are Americans. We can do anything our little hearts desire. So legally, we'll say that, but we just don't. We get in these little routines or make excuses or anything. So I'm trying to kind of map out where I want to be at, because I have so many things I want to do, just tons and tons of things. And then I get overwhelmed by everything. And then I get little bits done here and there, but then I lack the feeling of accomplishment. And that, I feel like that sets me back sometimes. And I pretty much way overdid it with this house. I had no idea how many problems it had. And it's completely overwhelming, to say the least. So I'm just hoping, to sort through those as I can And obviously as funds become available, and eventually, I mean, it is just way too much house for me, and I hope to find something smaller, but at the time I was looking, there was nothing out there. The market was so crazy. Just, I mean, I would look at a house and it would be, okay, which one has the least amount of problems? And then there was just so few of houses on the market that, you know, the prices were getting bid up on houses that had like mold in the basement and things of that nature. Like something that during, you know, a good situation where there's tons of houses, people wouldn't even touch those houses, and those were like going crazy over the asking price. So yeah, I bought at probably the worst time to buy, and I mean, I feel like, you know, in my price range I did okay, but you have to factor in I'm pouring like thousands of dollars into this house, fixing everything, so you know, I wasn't expecting that. But you know, hopefully when I do go to sell, I can recoup what I've put in here, and we'll see, or I'll be staying here longer. But it's just, the expenses are a lot to take care of a house this big, so you know, just like heating and cooling and stuff like that, that is just unnecessary. When I bought this house being so big, you know, I had wanted to potentially foster children. That's been something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I couldn't even do that right now. It's not even in that state of condition where I could do that. And then by the time I ever get it done or ready for that, I think I'll be ready to move on. It's unfortunate, but I got burned by a couple contractors, and if that hadn't happened, I probably could have had foster kids in here, but it's just not working out that way, so that's okay. It's just something that I read all these stories, and it's just so horrible, the things that are going on. And the best part of my life was raising my kids, so you know, that's just something that I feel like I have to offer, but it's just apparently not in the cards, at least not right now. And that's okay. But yeah, I'm just trying to get things going, and I guess the point of my video is just don't take on too many things to where you're more overwhelmed than when you actually had a job, because I feel like that's where I'm at. I'm more, well, I can't say more because my job was extremely challenging and everything, but I'm putting myself there. So, and I constantly like try to think of ways I can simplify my life, and I am nowhere near that place at all. From the decisions I've made, the things I've done, like for one thing, I have entirely too much stuff, like entirely too much stuff. So maybe I'll get to that in another video. But, and you know, I was doing pretty good before this winter hit and I got sick, but I haven't been able to do any activity. So I've literally sat around, and like right now I'm walking at not a very fast pace, 8 minutes in, and you know, I'm a little bit winded. That's ridiculous. But like I said, I've just felt bad. And I get sinus infections every year, but not to this extent. And I have a cavity that needs filled that they can't fill because my teeth hurt from the sinus infection. And now he's wanting me to go to an endodontist in case I have a cracked tooth or something. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but I do need to set that appointment too. But yeah. But when you're so overwhelmed and you got so much going on, it's easy to put all those things off. Like I haven't set that appointment yet. I know I need to, but I'm overwhelmed right now. I feel like total crap. And, you know, I'm just trying to fill my time with something valuable. So I do watch a lot of videos, and I go in and try to figure out things. So I guess that's good. I'm not completely wasting my time. I don't typically sit in front of TV, although, you know, I've really enjoyed some shows, but I mean, I went years and didn't watch any television at all. So it's no big deal if I don't watch TV. But there's been a few occasions where I was, I did enjoy some shows, so kind of takes your mind off of things, which is good. You can kind of get away from it all, so that's nice. But for the most part, I like more educational stuff to fill my time, and then it kind of helps me get into like the next little thing I'm going to try out or do. But I do think it's good if you can narrow down. I'm not saying you can't do all those things that you wrote down, but maybe at each year or whatever, try to focus on just a smaller amount of them, combine them, and then if you just hate it, then mark that off your list and go to the next one. So yeah, I've kind of like inundated myself with so many things I've got to get done, accomplished. So I have got to narrow my list down big time. And I want to get into bees. I've had the equipment for a long time. And every year I kind of miss that window of taking a class and getting them. And that's something I really want to do this year. But just like with everything, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't feel good. It might get kicked off again till next year. So that's the bad part. I know if I felt better, I don't think it would be a question. And that's the other thing I question, like, is it really worth living in an area where, I don't know if I'm allergic to what's out there or what is going on, but I mean, we're going on almost half of my year, half of an entire year, I've felt bad like crap. And it has affected like how I interact with people, what I can do, what I can accomplish. I'm laying around, I haven't been exercising. So, it's a struggle right now to even walk on this treadmill. That's sad, really. But I'm doing it. I got to break out of this. I hope the weather is going to break soon, so maybe this sinus infection will go away. But I've been on antibiotics twice and tried all sorts of other alternative things that have not helped. So I'm perplexed. Like, I just don't know what is going on here, why this is, other than, the area I moved from, which isn't that far, but maybe far enough. I lived there a long time, so I don't know if it's just difference in area, difference in trees, that sort of thing. I just don't know. Now, now I'm on top of a hill. Before I was at the bottom of a hill. Something simple as that possibly could be the difference. But anyhow, just let me know in the comments, like, what are the things you're interested in, what you've tried, if you've been able to like combine things. Because right now I'm making a video with walking. So I'm able to do two things at once, which I think is going to help. And just let me know what you guys have done, what's worked for you. And I don't know, I appreciate you listening and giving me your feedback, but we'll talk soon.